welcome to another DK Custom Products video. I'm here with Clammy, and we met before 2010.
Oh yeah, well, if you go back to like the boards, like where I met, I've known everybody now almost 20 years.
Barbed wire biker?
Originally HDF.
HDF.
Yeah.
And
then barbed wire biker. Yeah.
And then back to.
Then, well, yeah, I went back. Well, barbed wire biker blew up and everything, and so I'm back. I post on HDF like semi-regularly now. It's just for fun, you know. Like, but it's not the same group of the core of us, you know, like that we all met there. But I was back in, like, I actually met all you guys before I even bought Reaper. So I put the order in 2004, joined the board, and then she was delivered to me in 05.
So we met on the boards first, HD form,
yeah,
and barbed wire biker, but we eventually met each other
face to face, yeah,
at the Indiana Boogie.
Right, yeah.
Which is a crazy place. Well, it was.
It was, yeah. The last time I went, which was 19, it was a lot mellower. So this is my first time at Sturgis. It's not my first rally though. So the Boogie we were talking about earlier, I've been to that, I want to say 10 times. I think it's been between 8 and 10 times. I've done Laconia, I've done the Harley Rendezvous. That's pretty much it. I want to start, I gotta get Daytona done at some point. And then once I do that, I'm gonna start looking around for other smaller rallies. So I used to just go to the Boogie every year, and now that's kind of waning. Like the people that I would go with, the people are scattering out. You know how that goes, right? Something goes for a few years and then people go off on their separate ways. So now I'm starting to explore other rallies and stuff like that. I love the vibe. This unfortunately has been raining almost the whole time I was here for this one, but c'est la vie in the Greek city, you know? So Reaper's 2005 Softail Night Train customed out. It doesn't look like anything. It doesn't look stock at all. She's got 225,000 miles on her now. All put there by me, and well, maybe a few test rides by mechanics when they worked on her here and there. I like to do, right now I'm on my big summer road trip, sort of the beginning part of day 12 or 11 or something like that. I'm doing 39 days, 10,000 miles, going all the way out to the West Coast, and running the Pacific Coast Highway from Washington down to LA, coming back across the desert and going down the Midwest and visiting a bunch of the people we were just talking about from the boards. And yeah, Reaper, man, gets me around. She's, everything's pretty much customized. I got a Baker DD6 transmission in her. I got the, she just got built up to a 107 cubic inch with an S&S stroker crank. Got a few of your guys' parts on her. Got the air cleaner, the Outlaw air cleaner set up. One set of pipes that has the Thunder Torque inserts, which really helped with the torque dip when you're running drag pipes like that. The suspension's all upgraded. I got the progressive stuff on it.
And you're running breather bolts for?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, the Outlaw breather bolts. I love those things too. Yeah. It's so clean looking, and I remember when I first got them, the top end needed to be done. So I was getting a lot of fumes coming out. I'd be at a light, and I'd be like, I think I'm gonna pass out here, man. But once I did the rings, that went away. So there's no weird, no smell, and when I've had the top end off, you can see there's a lot less carbon on the top of the pistons. I never liked the idea of spitting oily, dirty, oily, hot air back into the intake. EPA. Yeah, so they got the progressive monotube cartridges in the forks, and I got the 422 with wrap at the back, which is brilliant. So when I'm doing my big trips, you'll see later when we go to see the bike, I got the hard saddlebags and a tour pack. And I used to the old Softails to adjust for the preload. You had to crawl underneath and turn the whole. So I never did it. Well, I got the wrapping with the little knob there, and I can adjust the preload. So it made a huge. I never with the preload, and when I did, I was like, why haven't I been doing this since the beginning? Because when I set the preload properly, it handled a whole lot better, you know.
And people say that Softails don't ride well, but if you set them up,
this is the thing exactly. You don't put 225,000 miles on a bike if it's uncomfortable, I'll tell you that. Running 16-inch apes. I wired in a little 12-volt port that I plug in for my GPS because I run a GPS because I am new school in that way.
I was going to ask you, do you have any interest at all in going to EFI?
No, I like the carb. I'll tell you what. One of the reasons I really like the carb. I was riding in the middle of woods. I used to date a girl she lived 2 hours away from me, and the ride to her place was through like a lot of rural. The throttle cable snapped when I was in the middle of nowhere. So I always carry tools. I just turned the idle screw till I was hitting about 3,000 at idle, and I limped her home. It worked. Yeah. It was great, but you couldn't do that with if I had been stranded. I would have had to call a tow truck or something, you know. So it's weird. my car, I like the technology in the car, but on the bike, I want it to be less technology. I want it to be, because I have not broken down, but I've been, had cables snap and this and that, and I've been able to get myself going at the side of the road.
So you used to play bass?
Yeah, I still do play bass. I used to be in a band called Exciter, which was a speed metal band from Canada that were actually credited with inventing the genre of speed metal back in the early 80s. So I was a kid buying their records back in like 83, 84, 85. And then in 2004, I joined the band. And in 2014, that version of the band blew up. We recorded 2 albums. I got to tour the world. It was friggin' amazing. International rock star, literally. Type into Google Clammy and Exciter, which is the name of the band, EXCITER, and you'll see tons of videos and pictures and shit.
So you're just at the beginning. You got 27 days left on your trip?
So I got like, so I left on the 28th. So I would have 27 more days.
Yeah.
That's almost a whole month ahead of me still. And I've already ridden like almost 3,000 miles.
When you got here, you called me, and what did you tell me about your ride that day?
Oh, what, 300 miles in the pouring rain? That's fun. Yeah, that was, did I tell you about the front tire?
No.
So on my first day out, just before I left, I had a new front tire put on, and the guy calls me. I always use an inner tube, a new inner tube with any front tire, and I go through a set of tires, at least one set every season, right? So the shop I was doing that was installing a tire for me, give me a call, and he said, hey, your inner tube looks brand new, man. You want to reuse it? I'm like, I don't know, man. I like to use a new one. He goes, and this guy is an old school dude. He knows it. I said, well, what would you do? He goes, I'd reuse this one. I'm like, all right, let's reuse it. Don't reuse your fucking tubes. So I'm riding my first stop on the day I left out, and I'm about 80 miles away from where I gotta go. The front end starts shaking like a. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So I'm looking. I can see the fork tubes are like they're fun. Anyway, before I had the new tire put on, the old one was doing that because there was a balance issue with it, right? So I thought, oh, shit, I must have lost a wheel weight or something. So I pull over to the side of the road, get off Reaper, and I'm looking at the tire. I'm like, I use Metzler ME888s. They have a very stiff sidewall, so the tire wasn't flat or anything, but you can see that the tread was pancaked down. So I pulled out my tire gauge, I put it on. The needle had about 5 pounds of pressure in it, if that. So I'm like, okay, again, I'm on a highway north of Toronto in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like there's not near any cities or anything. I mean, I would have had to wait, carry a pump with me, pumped up my tire, and said, well, I'm gonna go as far as I can go and see what happens, So luckily enough, it was a slow enough leak that I got to my destination. And then the next day, went to the local Harley dealer and had them put a new tube and tire band. They told me what had happened was,
Pinched?
yeah, well, it was folded and then it split. So when the guy gave me back the wheel, or when he gave me back the Reaper, he said to me, he goes, I had to put like 5 ounces of weight on it. I've never had to put that much weight on a tire. Well, yeah, because you have a folded piece. Yeah. So the guy at the dealership said, oh, we just used like an ounce and a quarter, and it was just normal. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay. Yeah, so that was, it was adventure right from the get-go on this one. Mm-hmm. And it's been a rainy too, like a lot of rain. I haven't had a day. I'm hoping today's the day where I haven't had rain. Oh, really? Now, not even been rained on constantly, but it'll be a nice day, and then the last 20 miles. So this is Reaper. She was clean. She's called Reaper because I had a slow go down and put a dent in a tank. And I had a friend of mine who's a body guy and asked him if he could pull the dent and spray it black. And he goes, hey, dude, you want me to airbrush something on it? I'm like, yeah, give me a Flying Grim Reaper. So people go, aren't you afraid of dying on your bike? I'm like, no, I ride with death. She keeps me safe. So there's the breather bolts, and then I'm on the, I think it's a 606 that I got.
Yeah. So this is set up for 39 days, everything you need for 39 days except for gas.
Exactly, and half of what I'm carrying is to deal with different weather, cold, rain. Like my one saddlebag there is all gear for weather. I'll do laundry along the way and ride dirty. And you learn. One cool thing is the first road trip I did. I think I was going out for 3 weeks, and I brought 3 weeks worth of clothes with me and everything. I didn't have the tour pack back then. I had this tall bag. It was all piled up and it was hilarious.
I remember before you had.
Yeah. That thing I bought. So this one's a brand new one. I had the earlier version tour pack on before that I bought. This is a 2014 version. I had the 2013 version before, and I just bought this one because it's supposed to be bigger. And I think, technically it holds more cubic inches of space, but because of the shape, you have to really move it around to get usable space. So,
did you fabricate that saddlebag stabilizer in the back?
when I first had the bags on, they would, they'd flex out, right? Because they're on easy brackets, and then I got these. So what I did was I just ran a bolt out of here, and this is an aluminum plate. So I just redid. These are new bags too, because these are, I don't know if you noticed, but they're 2 inches wider. That's those Mutazo ones, the fat ass bags are called. So I put this is like a speed handle, so I can take it on and off real quick. I can take all this shit off in 3 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all on quick release stuff. So like I say, lots of upgrades. That's a performance machine caliper with the Lindahl floating rotor. Stock Harley in the rear. I raised up my rear brake pedal. I put a new clevis here because before I got little small feet. I had to reach so much that I never really had until now. I never really had a usable rear brake, and what a fucking huge difference that makes. And these are heated. I'm not kidding, man. I would brake almost exclusively with the front because unless I was now I use the rear actually more than the front. Oddly enough.
But you just had the whole bottom end redone.
Yeah.
After how many miles? How many kilometers?
It was 350,000 kilometers, about 217,000 miles, and she's got on her right now 364,841 kilometers. And I think it works out to something like 225,000 miles.
For all the people out there who say that Harleys break down and they don't go a lot of miles and they should be at the bottom of the ocean.
They do if you don't maintain them. I mean, that's it. I change her oil all the time. I fix small problems when they're small. And again, I've done a lot of work to the bike, but it's not like I'm always wrenching it or anything.
And it never left you stranded.
No, just the one time when I was at a gas station, I had to call the truck when the thing, because even another time when I broke the starter clutch, I just bump started her and managed to get her running. The problem was I was so weighed down, it was raining, and I was on an up, there was no incline to get any speed going. So she'll bump start, no problem.
Another nice thing about carb bikes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And since I have a Daytona Twin Tech ignition module, I have it set up so that it sparks after 1 revolution, not 2 like the factory. Well, it was really great seeing you again. It's been years, and nice to meet you, man. And hope you guys continue with your awesome products. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, you hit that notification bell, and subscribe to the channel like I am.